Welcome back to BSides Pittsburgh 2025. My name's Justin Leapline, and we're here at the Rivers Casino. I'm one of the co-hosts to Distilled Security Podcast, and I'm here with Cathy Ullman.
Ullman.
See, I knew I'd screw it up here.
All good.
So,
no worries.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us and everything. If you wouldn't mind, you already spoke today.
I did.
Could you go over a little bit what your talk was about, some of the things?
Yeah, so I talked about firewalls and fire alarms, and made some parallels between the fire service, which I'm representing today.
Oh, nice.
And
are you actually a volunteer firefighter?
I am. I've been a volunteer firefighter almost 30 years now. So I made some parallels between what we see in information security from, an IR perspective and whatnot, and things we saw in the fire service. And I gave some case studies that sort of illustrated, like, here's how we can learn from these different things.
Yeah, and when to burn it all down, when when to
absolutely burn it down.
It's a lost cause. You're like, it's done. That's great. So, that sounds like a really interesting talk and great correlation, with that. I'm sure the audience enjoyed it, I'm sure, with that.
They seem to. I mean, this is the second time I've done a talk that pulled the two concepts together. This one was a little different than the first one.
Yeah.
The first one was a little more straightforward, talking about things that I've learned from the fire service that have made me better at IR.
Okay.
And this one was more applied with the case studies of an actual really horrific fire that happened and a really bad cybersecurity incident that happened in Ireland. And so I made some parallels between those.
Gotcha. Did you do the classic, don't panic, type of thing? It's like
No, I mean, I talk about that probably in the first talk. I absolutely talked about that. In this, it was more trying to understand the things that they have in common and what our takeaways can be, and the areas in which our controls can fail.
Okay.
And so the real focus of the talk was, to assume controls will fail. Instead of, well, we've got all these layers, so hopefully we'll be good, which is, I think, where a lot of people are.
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually mentioned that already today, that in incident response, you shouldn't plan if, you should plan when.
Absolutely,
type of thing. And all the prevention in the world, you're going to have something sometime.
Right, so what I looked at were 3 different levels in terms of prevention, detection, and containment in particular. And then also, as sort of a follow-up, just the whole idea of any kind of delayed response. So those are really the 4 areas I focused on. Because, you don't not want to do prevention, right? But all the prevention in the world, it's not going to ultimately prevent everything.
Right, exactly.
And we talked about how, in my talk, about how something like a firewall or a fire safe is not meant to be never, impinged by fire, right? It's supposed to just decrease it's supposed to increase, how long you have before you have to worry about it. And any of the controls we put in place in cyber are exactly the same way. They're never meant to completely contain or stop the attacker. They're meant to prevent them from getting any further and from, and for us to notice they're there.
Yep. 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
So being part of the audience, what was some of the things you wanted them to walk away your talk and take into the real world there?
So the themes that kind of come up over and over again are, don't take your controls for granted, test them, make sure they even exist. Like somebody tells you, we have this thing in place. Go look. Actually determine,
I thought AWS did all.
And don't just, and even if you do it once, it's a repeatable thing. You need to go and you need to verify it exists. You need to verify the control works as you expected by doing testing, and you need to be prepared for things like, communication issues. Because that's an area where we frequently fall flat.
Yeah. If you don't practice it, you're going to fail. It's a guarantee.
Exactly.
Type of thing.
Yep.
Great. So speaking of the conference here, what are some of the things you're looking forward to, for BSides Pittsburgh coming in here or in the future, the conference?
So first of all, I'll say that I love BSides as a concept. I run BSides Rochester, so being able to go to another BSides is always invigorating. It sometimes gives me ideas. But, in general, networking, I think, is the number one. I love hearing other people's talks, hearing what other folks have to say, getting feedback about what people think of what I've had to say. So that's without a doubt my favorite part.
Yeah, that's the same with me and everything. So thank you, Cathy, for sitting down with us and everything. And stay tuned. We're going to be releasing some speaker spotlights here, and we'll see you later.